Māori na kon tangata Pasifika, welcome and happy Kiribati Language Week, Aotearoa.
Yes, I aion ara kakarapakau ne te pōngaio on the show today. In honour of Matariki, we check out the Imiloa Astronomy Centre in Hawaii.
We have a state-of-the-art planetarium that projects the night sky from anywhere in the world, any time of year.
We chat with Deputy Prime Minister Carmel Sepuloni on her decision to receive the malu.
When I first saw the malu, and then over the years learnt more about it, I realised that was what I wanted.
And we catch up with Black Grace Supremo, Neil Ieremia, on his latest dance project.
Notion of rebirth, of change is always really important, and I think we're probably due for that as a planet.
Maori. But first, Tongan community leader Pakilau Manaselua supports the findings of an independent review of Immigration New Zealand's out-of-hours compliance visits, or dawn raids, following an incident earlier this year. The review was launched in May after Tangata Pasifika revealed the practice was still being used by immigration officials after government had apologised in 2021 for the dawn raids of the 1970s. KC Mike Heron led the review and made 5 recommendations, including looking at the guidelines for compliance officers and whether a raid should be carried out if there are children and elderly involved. Pakilau wants dawn raids to stop and is urging the government to grant an amnesty for all overstayers.
It's the only thing that will fix all of this noise, the issue, the humiliation, because the dawn raid apologies now, as King's Counsel Heron has said, rings hollow. Something we've been saying, you have to get it right. Why? Why are you making the apology? If it's for dawn raids, then stop doing it. You know, so the only way to fix that and to fix the VAR is to do an amnesty or at least a pathway to residency for our overstayers. That's it.
To the arts now, and a sought-after book on Cook Islands tattooing published 12 years ago is back in print. The book's called Patterns of the Past, and authors Therese Mangos and John Utanga, alongside photographer Kirsty Griffin, were on hand in West Auckland for a special blessing. First released in 2011, the book traces the history and practice of tātātau in the Cook Islands and has over 250 contemporary and historical images of traditional Cook Islands design and heritage art. It celebrates how tātātau is impacting on a generation searching for symbols of its own identity, and the book's available online at Moana Fresh.
Yeah, beautiful work. And finally, congratulations to Fa'alongo Tana Umanga, who takes the helm as the new Moana Pasifika head coach. Fa'alongo is no stranger to the team. He coached Moana Pasifika in its debut match against the Māori All Blacks back in 2020. The proud Samoan was also the first Pasifika person to captain the All Blacks, leading them 22 times. The former Blues head and assistant coach, he'll be building on the foundation put in place by former head coach Aaron Major. Good luck, guys.
Well, to our first story now, while we're celebrating Matariki this weekend, Across the Pacific, in Hawaii, they've been exploring their cultural connection to the cosmos for some years.
That's right. The Imiloa Astronomy Centre in Hilo on the Big Island of Hawaii is a fully bilingual learning centre featuring exhibits and shows dealing with Hawaiian culture and history and its overlap with science and astronomy. With the support of Hawaiian Tourism Authority and Hawaiian Airlines, Sona Aholele has the story.
This futuristic building, gleaming in the sun and set among blossoming hibiscus, is the Imiloa Astronomy Centre in Hilo, on the Big Island of Hawaii. It's an astronomy and cultural education centre.
Imiloa is about exactly what its name means, and that means exploration, or always on the pursuit to explore and make new discoveries. And it really was a big effort by many different people, practitioners, experts from our community that truly felt a desire to build a place that would tell the story of Hawaii.
Imiloa features exhibits and shows dealing with Hawaiian culture and history, astronomy and the overlap between the two.
When we bring that together with scientific theory of like the Big Bang or when the universe first began, it's stunning to see how Hawaiian knowledge is way advanced, especially for its time, but even in today's context. That is one thing I think that has been exciting on this journey, is just science is it's catching up to old wisdom that many of our indigenous and native communities have known for generations.
The Cultural Education Centre has a big focus on the kiki, the children.
We're constantly busy putting on activities, camps, workshops, presentations, talk stories, even holding difficult conversations here that challenge our community and bring about different issues and surface different issues in our community. We have our amazing staff here that create these interactive Hawaii-based science programs, but we also bring in experts from the field. Hawaii Island has so many amazing natural environments that we are fortunate to be a part of, and we are very fortunate that people who are experts in those different fields like to come and work with us.
And this is a meteorite, right?
That's a meteorite.
Wow.
Not found here in Hawaii, but found, I don't know where this one was found, but this is a meteorite, and so, you know, give kids a chance to touch something that came from outer space.
And speaking of outer space, many of the kiki that come here love to stargaze.
We have a state-of-the-art planetarium that projects the night sky from anywhere in the world, any time of year, and we tell a lot of great stories there from Hawaii. We also can take you off of Earth and explore outer space, the universe, through the power of the planetarium. So your name is Matariki, ours is Makali'i, and we celebrate the rising of Makali'i up in October, November-ish when she rises. Makali'i was also the name of a Hawaiian chief who, there are different stories. In some accounts, Makali'i was not such a gracious chief who actually took all of the food from the land and put it up in the sky in a net, and that constellation is called Makali'i. And in other accounts, he's a strong leader that helped to bring canoes to arrive for the first time here in Hawaii.
The centre opened to the public in 2006 and is part of the University of Hawaii in Hilo. While it contributes to a greater awareness of Hawaiian culture and science, it has not been without its critics.
Modern science trains you to leave your identity and your culture at the door. In order to be a scientist, you have to be extremely objective. But at the end of the day, to lose your identity doesn't help anybody. We lived, we adapted, we sustained ourselves, which is the ultimate demonstration of our ability to be scientists in our own definition of that.
Mahalo.
Nice to see the Pacific connections there to Matariki.
All right, si ku ira rikira ao ngakana si manga karairaki. When we come back, the Deputy Prime Minister talks about her decision to receive the malu and later Black Race and Company B.
I hope Company B continues and it becomes like a biannual thing or an annual project where young people continually come in and sort of give it a go and make a real career out of dance.
That's me.
Tangata Pacifica, born a people proud. Oh, people proud. People of the sun, our heritage goes on. Tangata Pacifica, keep our culture strong.
This is our Vahipana. This is the home of our spirituality. This is who we are. If we don't take care of places like Ulupo or other heiaus or other cultural sites for that matter, if we don't bring back and revitalize it, then we as a culture are going to lose it. To see the generations after myself continuing culture in some way, that's the most precious thing, because again, we are nobody if we don't keep our culture.
Pacifica, born a people proud. People of the suns, to our new homebound. Tangata Pacifica, born a people proud. Oh, people proud. People of the sun, our heritage goes on. Tangata Pacifica, keep our culture strong. People of the sun, our heritage goes on. Tangata Pacifica, keep our culture strong. Keep our culture strong. Keep our culture strong. People of the suns, to our new homebound. Tangata Pacifica, born a people proud. People of the suns, to our new homebound. Tangata Pacifica, born a people proud. Oh, people proud. People of the sun, our heritage goes on. Tangata Pacifica, keep our culture strong. People of the sun, our heritage goes on. Tangata Pacifica, keep our culture strong. Keep our culture strong. Keep our culture strong. People of the suns, to our new homebound. Tangata Pacifica, born a people proud. People of the suns, to our new homebound. Tangata Pacifica, born a people proud. Oh,
Maori riki nā koe mi man Tangata Pacifica. Well, last week we reported that Deputy Prime Minister Carmel Sepuloni had undergone a 6-hour ordeal to receive her malu, the traditional tattoo for Samoan women.
That's right, of Samoan, Tongan and Palangi heritage. The Deputy Prime Minister has a big year in politics ahead. So why did she decide to receive the malu? That was one of the questions reporter Gladys Hartson put to her in Aotearoa this week.
Talofa lava, Deputy Prime Minister and Acting Prime Minister. Thank you so much for this opportunity to be here with you. It's been a week since a historic and really special occasion where you received your malu. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. Still a lot of bruising and still just have to be a little bit careful getting around, and haven't gone out as much as what I otherwise would have. But absolutely loving looking down at my markings and my legs, and as I've said previously, it almost feels like it's always been here now.
Oh. And can you talk us through the journey to making that decision to get the malu?
Much of it for me was instinctive, and so as I was going through my teens and others were getting tattoos, I instinctively knew that that wasn't for me. And then when I came to Auckland at 18 and then first saw the malu, and then over the years learnt more about it, I realised that was what I wanted. It was just a matter of timing, and really the timing couldn't have been better.
Just how special was it to have your dad there? You were surrounded by family and friends. Did your dad have any advice for you?
No, first time he'd seen it done actually. He came over from Samoa when he was 20, and so hadn't been immersed in the Samoan community either, because he decided to settle in Taranaki with his family. And so he watched on the whole day with intense interest in what was happening. It was the first time he'd seen it.
For many of us here, Pasifika, in New Zealand, Australia, abroad, having that connection with the tattoo, was that something that was on your mind during that whole process, that having that connection?
Yeah, absolutely, and it's the connection not just to the tattoo, it's the connection to everything to do with our ainga, our culture, our homeland of Samoa. And so when you are going through the motions, you are taking yourself to another place. And for me, it was reflections of those relationships, of those people, of the smells, of the memories and the places I've been there. And so all of that was what kept me in a zone, I guess, to be able to more easily handle what was happening with the actual process of getting the malu.
Do you feel a different type of pressure now that you have the malu? You're the Deputy Prime Minister. Your profile is huge. Do you feel that sense of pressure?
I guess the pressure when it comes to doing the siva, which I've always shied away from, and where possible got someone else to do that. I think I'm going to have to get some lessons because mine is probably below average. But in general, pressure-wise, no, I just continue doing what I was doing, which is, doing my job to the best of my ability with the people at the heart of it who I set out to serve when I came into this role and every other role that I've been in. I feel in many ways empowered. This is not something that I have to show people on the daily, but knowing that it is there provides a level of strength that I didn't have previously. So I think it's going to hopefully, provide me with further confidence to do the work that I need to do.
Do you think people will look at you differently now that you have this, special marking, the malu?
Well, certainly so far what I've experienced is a great sense of pride from all Samoans, not just Samoans, Pacific across the board. They're very aware of what it represents. And so I think in many ways, the relationship between myself and the community is just further strengthened by having had this done. Also, what I've sensed already from social media and other places is a heightened sense of protection from the community, which is fitting because the malu is about protection and shelter. And so I'm already feeling that from the community and from my family. And that is really comforting, actually.
Malo lava, Deputy Prime Minister, thank you. And we wish you all the best for the election.
Malo.
Whakakai DPM. After the break, in Wien te Mosirawa, Neil Ieremia from Black Grace. But next, a multicultural artist on the meaning of Matariki.
When we're talking about Matariki, we're talking about our ancestors, what they did back in the day, and making sure that we celebrate our past and our future.
homebound. Tangata Pacifica, born a people proud. People of the sun, our heritage grows on. Tangata Pacifica, keep our culture strong. People of the sun, our heritage grows on. Tangata Pacifica, keep our culture strong. Keep our culture strong. Keep our culture strong. People love the stars to our new homebound. Tangata Pacifica, born a people proud. People of the stars to our new homebound. Tangata Pacifica, born a people proud. People of the sun, our heritage grows on. Tangata Pacifica, keep our culture strong. People of the sun, our heritage grows on. Tangata Pacifica, keep our culture strong. Keep our culture strong. Keep our culture strong. People love the stars to our new homebound. Tangata Pacifica, born a people proud. People of the stars to our new homebound. Tangata Pacifica, born a people proud. People of the sun, our heritage grows on. Tangata Pacifica, keep our culture strong. People of the
Maori, and welcome back to Tangata Pacifica. It might be Matariki this week, but not everyone understands its significance. But helping to shed some light on the meaning of Matariki is Tongan, Samoan and Maori artist Siniva Williams.
That's right. She's hoping to tell stories of Matariki through her artwork and its connection with the Pacific. Niueli Mauafu has this story.
They say that art is the window to an artist's life story. Such is the case for Tongan, Samoan and Māori artist Siniva Williams.
When I was growing up, we were raised Palangi, so we didn't know much about Tongan, our Samoan or our Māori heritage. And I remember doing like paintings and I looked at them and I was like, you know, it's kind of similar to everyone else. What can I do that makes it different? And then I was like, just started to look into my culture.
Part of the Ngā Whetū art exhibition, Siniva joined forces with other artists enforcing the importance of Matariki through their work.
When we're talking about Matariki, we're talking about our ancestors, what they did back in the day, and making sure that we celebrate our past and our future. Because when you think about the stars, you think about how our ancestors used the stars, not just the stars, but you know, the different phases of the moon and the sun, showing them the way on how to travel, even how to like make their kai.
Conducting her own research through her artwork, Siniva realized that Matariki connects not just the Māori, but also other Pacific cultures, including her own.
I'm just going to read upon the words of Te Vita Ka'ili. So he talks about our Tongan history. He talks about the rising of Matariki and Tala'a, so that's the sun, and Teleki Tokilau, so that is the Tropic of Cancer. And it just marked the beginning of the Tongan Katoanga Inasi, so that's the tribute festival to Hikoleo. And Hikoleo is our highest deity in Tonga, and she is the elder sibling of both Maui and also Tangaroa as well. For Tonga, Niue, Tokilau and Tuvalu, it is Matariki. We've got the Cook Islands, which is the same, Matariki, like in Aotearoa. With Samoa, it is called Mata'ali'i. So again, with these interconnective histories of our family, not just in Māori, but also in our Pasifika families as well.
In discovering the connections in the Pacific through Matariki, she also learns more about her own family lineage, which she hopes to pass down to her son.
It was difficult because I didn't know like where or who I was in the beginning. I wasn't told, oh, you're Tongan or you're Māori. So that's why with my son, I make sure that he acknowledges all his cultures because it's not just the one. So it's made me grow as an artist, and I feel like I'm growing and I'm feeling empowered as well because I know that my ancestors, my tupuna, they got my back and I'm going in the right way.
The exhibition continues for this month with the hope of educating the public about Matariki and also to highlight the lack of knowledge around Matariki in New Zealand.
I know that a lot of us, we didn't learn it in school, which is why I'm really happy that they're teaching it to our children now. Just finding ways to like going back to your family, having that good kōrero or talanoa or talk, you know, just sitting down, enjoying each other's company and making these memories because our children, when they grow up, they'll remember these memories. But whatever way that the people feel that they will connect with Matariki, as long as they're doing something about it, then that's amazing, that's really cool.
Malo Siniva.
Yeah, great work. Now, still with the arts, and Black Grace has been a beacon of Pacific contemporary dance, both nationally and internationally, for 30 years.
Founding artistic director Neil Uremia is sharing his knowledge with the next generation with a new initiative called Company B. Hanalei Demese Foliaki has this story.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1. Go back.
Stepping into a new rhythm of opportunity.
Company B is something that we actually started talking about as an organisation back in 2002. I started Black Grace with the concept that in 100 years it would still be here, providing a platform for young Pasifika, Māori, New Zealand, whoever, to be able to create and present their stories at the highest level, both nationally and internationally.
Since 1995, Black Grace has etched its mark into the landscape of contemporary dance, incorporating nuances of culture and artistry to its highest degree. And founding artistic director Neil Uremia hopes to keep that standard consistent through future generations.
There were dance schools training dancers, and so there was a general feeling that we didn't need to do that. But over the years, you know, that training hasn't always been probably what it should have been. And the calibre of dancers that they've put out is probably, you know, it's been a real mixed bag, to be fair. For example, we received a commission recently in the Middle East, and I couldn't actually find the cast to take the work that they were asking for to the Middle East, and so I had to make a new piece of dance. And so it was the perfect time for something like Company B. You know, we auditioned, I think, over 40 young people from all sorts of places. We were supposed to take 8, but I took 12. Because I'm soft in my old age.
Soft but thorough, as the chosen few quickly discovered what it takes to perform under a world-class dance tutor.
Yeah, fitness. Keeping up with the fitness, because it's tough.
The fitness level has risen. The weight has also lost itself, which is awesome because I've been needing something to motivate me to shed off those pounds, get into shape, and this has been perfect.
After 4 weeks of intensive training, the efforts of Company B will come together in a powerhouse performance called I Am a Renaissance, and it will be showcased at the Herald Theatre in Aotea Square.
That notion of rebirth, of change, is always really important. And I think, you know, we're probably due for that as a planet. But it can't happen unless it happens to people individually and personally. So everyone has to think about their own renaissance. We hold ourselves down a lot rather than sort of being brave enough to think outside of the world that surrounds us and the one that we were raised in, and start lifting our hopes and our aspirations to much, much higher things.
With high hopes for the initiative, Neil is excited for what's ahead.
I hope Company B continues and it becomes like a biannual thing or an annual project where young people continually come in and sort of give it a go and, you know, try things and then go off and do things. And then, of course, I'd love some of the young people to come and work with Black Grace at some point and make a real career out of dance. If we can all stay out of trouble and not make our mum and dads angry, then I think we're all right.
Yes, I'm trying to stay out of trouble. I Am Renaissance will run from the 19th to the 23rd of this month, and you can purchase tickets at Ticketmaster or go to blackgrace.co.nz. And remember to get your nominations in for the Sunpics Pacific People's Awards. Just go to tpplus.co.nz and you can catch all these stories again on TP Plus or TVNZ Plus.
And for our latest news, go to our social media platforms. Have a great weekend, Aotearoa. See you next week. Sea mangai si pōne wika ka na roko.
Wow, well done. Manawa tia matariki sia poau te keraio.
Sia po.
Ka kite.
People love the stars to our new homebound. Tangata Pacifica, born a people proud.